So perfectionism causes us to be overly serious about everything. It is a trick of the ego. It is a deeply conditioned part of your psyche, your being. And so we learn to earn love and then to keep performing in order to keep it coming in. And so we learn that our flaws are not acceptable, that we should hide them, right? Hide them or amputate them. And whatever we do, not to let anyone see our imperfections. Repress emotion that is seemingly unacceptable, like anger or frustration. And the energy behind all of this perfectionism is fear. It's a fear of not being loved. Perfectionism leads to procrastination, which leads to paralysis. So perfectionism thrives on competition and comparison. It is a form of self-abuse. So control is an illusion because ultimately life does what it does, and life is perfect. Hello, dear and precious ones. Hello, Judah Nation. First, we want to begin by filling up the space where you are with our presence, with the presence of the divine. We're going to join in concert, in harmony with your angels and your spirit guides, which are present with you. And we're going to create something beautiful this evening, something perfectly imperfect and bordering, teetering, precariously on the edge of divine perfection. And so we set the intention and the reality of a high consciousness field for this evening. Yes, yes, yes. We're going to bring you up into the realms of peace. So enjoy. This vessel is teaching you. Are you listening? That when you listen to beings such as ourselves, highly enlightened beings, you are entering into a high state of consciousness. You are teaching your being, your cellular structure, your mind, your emotions. You are teaching all of your parts what it feels like to be a higher dimensional being. And so in this time, you experience that. You experience the lift, the lift, the lift. You experience the courage. You experience the joy. You experience perhaps tears and release and light and illumination and click, 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 understanding, you see. And so keep coming, keep listening, keep coming and listening. And if you have the luxury of being still, of being meditative, of being in a safe location in which you can really relax, drop into a deep trance-like even state as this vessel is and receiving on a deep level. We welcome you to do that. Okay, let us begin talking about perfectionism. We would say, a dirty word in the realms of heaven in regards to the way you think of this term, perfectionism. You see, here in our realm, we see every being as perfect. Every soul is on a perfect journey. Every soul is being, the very best that they can in the moment, given the circumstances and the journey which they have been afforded. And so when we look at you, we see you as whole. We see you as perfect. We see you as, we don't think of you ever as being unhealed, and we don't ever think of you as needing healing. We simply see that you are whole and on a journey to experience, uncover, remember all of your wholeness and to evolve into the fullness of this wholeness, of this perfection, you being an expression of all that is. So let us begin talking about this perfectionism. Perfectionism is a trick of the ego. It is a deeply conditioned part of your psyche, your being. As this vessel taught you even last week, the ego is not you, it is conditioning. It is programs like software on your computer or applications loaded upon your phone. And this software, this app of perfectionism began even before you were born. Perhaps your mother tried to eat the perfect diet while she was pregnant with you. Perhaps she tried to get pregnant at exactly the right season of her life. Perhaps she wanted to be the ideal weight during her pregnancy, and people measured her belly to see how big you were or how small you were, and to project upon you the ideal standards for what you should be, even before you exited the womb. And perhaps your mother took pains to have a perfect birth with a perfect support system and environment and so on. And likely within moments of your being born, you were weighed to see, were you somewhere near this quote unquote perfect weight, and so on. And there it began. Unfortunately, for a while, you were not privy to all this perfectionism. In your perfected state, as you were born, you were the express image of God, having just come from born into the womb, carried upon the breath and the hands of angels, and innocent and blameless and full of hope, flawless, truly perfect in our eyes and in the eyes of Source. And of course, all of you know, no matter what you looked like when you were born, your mothers thought you were perfect, did they not? Yes, of course, because in truth you were. So thank you, Judah, for the introduction. So, it starts when we're so young and there's so much conditioning. And now with this new generation, my kids were the first generation to get cell phones when back then it was when they were 13, 14 years old. Now, I know the last few years that I taught, my kiddos were getting cell phones in first grade. And so we are constantly bombarded with these images of perfection, right? On Instagram, social media, all over, all the visual media that we have. There's even certain things that our team at the Judah channel does to hopefully get someone's attention long enough, because we know we just have a split second or two to get your attention, to get you to stop and plug in, right? And so there's all this, all this perfectionism, and it's an unreasonable standard, and it's simply lies. You see, there's so much beauty in each and every one, each and every body shape, skin color, each and every skin tone, each and every inflection of the voice, every eye color, every hair. We know all the hairs on your head, but there's so much competition and comparison, and it is a ruthless system, and this ruthless system produces insecurity, fear, and self-hatred. And to expose yourself continually to the media and into all of this ploy of perfectionism is to abuse yourself, we would say, to absolutely abuse yourself. And we hope you will divest yourself completely, if you can, of all of this nonsense. Good, thank you, Judah. I know that since COVID especially, these young women particularly are just falling into states of hopelessness because they view all of this supposed perfection in social media, and they know that they cannot measure up. And so they begin to feel depressed and suicidal. We're losing a lot of beautiful, beautiful souls to this sort of pressure. So what have we learned through this conditioning? Well, we've learned that we must perform and continue to perform. And if we don't perform, we won't be loved and accepted. And if we're really lucky, we might be loved if we perform well, if we're perfect enough. And if we're not loved, if we can't find love, then we will accept approval in its place, approval or pats on the back. And so we learn to earn love and then to keep performing in order to keep it coming in. And we all know this from the research. Little babies that are born in war-torn countries, they lose their parents and they wind up in orphanages with not enough hands to hold them, not enough caregivers to love them, hold them, give them the nurture that they deserve. And in many instances, they literally die. And it's not because they're not fed or changed or in a safe environment, but it's because they don't have someone to love them, to hold them, to nurture them. So we can be like these precious ones in our own ways as a result of this conditioning in the culture. And so we learned that our flaws are not acceptable, that we should hide them, right? Hide them or amputate them. And whatever we do, not to let anyone see our imperfections. And so we also repress emotion that is seemingly unacceptable, like anger or frustration. Poor Chuck, man, when I came around having been a good Christian girl all these years and believing that anger is wrong and that I shouldn't feel anger or ever hurt anyone with my anger. And of course, we don't want to hurt people unnecessarily, right? But we do all this and repress all this anger until we're just like a ticking time bomb. And that's why, people are like pastors and people like that. They have the best of intentions. I don't think they're evil when they suddenly freak out and have an affair or kind of blow up in some way. We see see them all over the news. God bless them, bless their hearts, right? Because they're forced to repress in order to project this perfect image, perfect job, perfect house, perfect education, perfect spouse, perfect mate. So many single people I meet are so lonely. Oh, I love you guys, and I'm sorry that you're so lonely. And sometimes we just need to throw out our laundry list of the perfect mate. I think if Chuck and I probably knew the truth about each other, or on the outside, we just weren't the perfect pair, right? But in truth, we really are the perfectly imperfect pair for each other. So the ego tells you a lie, the ego being your programming. And this is the lie. If only blank, then I would finally be happy. This is the lie of perfectionism. If only blank, then I would finally be happy. If only I could go to that school. If only I could have that job. If only I could get that raise. If only I lost 20 pounds. If only I was whatever, right? And the energy behind all of this perfectionism is fear. It's a fear of not being loved. Yeah. And so the ego's lie says, I don't measure up, so I better get busy fixing myself, changing it, changing me, changing it, changing him, changing her, fixing it, fixing me. I'd better get busy knowing something new or different that I don't already know, because what I know has brought me to here, and it's not been good enough because I'm still not perfect. Right. And I don't measure up, so I'd better put in more effort. And so we get caught in this performance-oriented cycle where we're just efforting. And there can be so much pushing and resistance in that. Like we were talking about last week, it's like Sisyphus trying to push that boulder up the hill. And we waste all of the energy for the living of our life and being happy and being in joy with all this perfectionism. Now, so that's one way that we can respond to perfectionism conditioning, by trying harder. But there's another way, and I see this a lot too, and it's just giving up. I mean, so many people who just give up. They give up on life, they give up on themselves, they give up on happiness, because this razor sharp standard that the culture has given us for being perfect, they know in their heart they'll never meet it. And it's true, we won't ever. And so for these precious ones, they can fall into hope and despair if they don't know the truth, that it's all lies, right? And so they can become crippled by indecision, right? So remember these 3 P's. Ready? Perfectionism leads to procrastination, which leads to paralysis. Perfectionism leads to procrastination, which leads to paralysis. So some of these precious young ones that I hear about, young adults and so on, and they can't seem to find the motivation anymore to get out the door and get a job, because the only jobs out there are not the perfect jobs, right? They're the yucky grunt jobs. Or whatever. So they can't get the motivation to get up out of the door, because the perfectionism causes them to procrastinate, and the procrastinate paralyzes them. And many of them are sad and depressed, and they're stuck at home, and they're isolated, and they've lost contact with reality and with people who could love them, nurture them, wrap their arms around them. So that's another response to perfectionism, is just giving up. So there's efforting, and then there's giving up. And maybe you're like me. Maybe you have done so much of this efforting for so many years. I was a type A girl. My first husband used to say that I was the most driven person that he'd ever met. And I believe that's true. Worked so hard. Had to have, the best degrees and be the top. I wasn't enough to be a great teacher for the 20 kids in my school. I had to do all the professional development in the building, and I had to be the best teacher in the district. I had the best scores in the district. So all this drivenness. And then there came a point where when I realized it wasn't going to give me the love that I wanted so much, that I quit. I gave up. And that's when the depression sets. That's when we have the midlife crisis. That's when we crack up. That's when we crawl on the bed and take Prozac, and we don't really get up and live life anymore, right? Here are the subconscious beliefs. We always talk about subconscious beliefs in this work, because Judah wants to help us get rid of them, right? Because we can change all kinds of things about our external environment, and we can say affirmations 1,000,000 times, but until we uproot the subconscious belief, automatic pilot program, we can't get free. So here are some of them. I am separate from love. I am separate from love. I lack love. There isn't enough of it. And since there isn't enough of it, I have to compete for it. I have to earn it. And for some of you, yes, Judah wants to speak here to someone listening. There's someone listening here. You're aware of this fact. Your mother tried to abort you and the abortion was unsuccessful. And here you are. Here you are, precious one. And there's something deeply buried in your subconscious. You believe that you have to earn the right to breathe because you're unwanted. You literally feel like you have to earn your existence by being perfect, by being good, by being the good child, the good daughter, the good son, that you have to earn your right to be here on the earth. And right now, we take authority over that lie in your subconscious womb. In the womb, we're going to go back to the very moment, the first moment that your mother realized that you existed in her womb, and she thought to herself, oh no, I don't want to have a baby. That's the moment we're going to. And right now, we remove that hurt, that lie, all of the injustice of it, all of the pain of it that you felt in your tiny, tiny little spirit that pierced right through your heart. We're going to heal it right now. Go ahead and cry. Go ahead and let the tears flow. Go ahead and feel our comfort. Know, dear, that we love you. We love you. We love you. And yes, your mother loves you even now. And she simply was lost and unsupported. And it had nothing to do with you. But now we're going to heal this place in you in all realms of time and space. We cast out rejection and we release you now to receive love and to release your drivenness in perfectionism. Good, wonderful. I'm very thankful for that. If you're that person, I'd love to hear from you. Okay, so perfectionism thrives on competition and comparison. It is a form of self-abuse. Little ways to break perfectionism. Don't make up your bed. Leave your socks in the middle of the floor. If there's dirt on the floor, leave it there, right? Leave your dishes in the sink overnight. I don't know what it is for you, but begin taking small actions. And if you feel especially uncomfortable, when you leave those dishes in the sink, then you know you're making progress. If it makes you feel anxious to leave the dishes in the sink overnight, then you know that's an area where you can break free by doing something different. So perfectionism causes us to be overly serious about everything. That's me talking to myself here. So remember the mantra that we learned a couple of weeks ago? The mantra that we say for the ego? So what? So what? So when we start getting overly serious, we can remember saying, yeah, so what? Right? Here's some mantras that will help you with breaking perfectionism. It's good enough. So when Chuck and I first started dating, we'd be doing some kind of job around the house or in the yard or something. And I would think we needed to put in a little more effort on it. He would say, it's good enough. I thought, what the? I never heard anybody say that before in my life. What do you mean it's good enough? But I love this. This taught me, it's good enough. And there's one of my favorite sayings from 12-step is this: anything worth doing is worth doing badly. Well, of course, we want to do our best, but from a right perspective. And sometimes because we think it has to be perfect to even begin, that's holding us up. Maybe we need to be willing to just do it badly, because if we'll just do it, we likely will learn how to get good at it. But we can't learn how to get good at whatever it is we want to do unless we're willing to do it badly. So progress, not perfection. Progress and not perfection. That's what we're looking for. So let me tell you what, Judah wants to talk about this. Let's talk about the modus operandi of perfectionism. The ego has a favorite go-to to bolster this perfectionism, and it is control. And we will tell you that control is an illusion. You have very little control over most things, we will say. There's very little that you have absolute control over. And so it's a trick of the mind to think that you can control a certain thing and devise a certain outcome. And you see, the ego will tell you, if I can control this, then I shall be safe. And this is the lie it tells you. It says, get on board with me, agree with me, partner with me, and we will keep you safe from the thing you fear, the things you don't want. And we will deliver to you the things you do want. And this is the lie of control. So here's how we work on this. Let's just do it right now. I want you to think of something in your life that you have a tendency to want to control. Got it? And then ask yourself in your inner voice, can I let go of wanting and needing to control that? Can I let go of wanting and needing to control life? Can I let go of wanting and needing to control the outcomes? Can I let go? Can I let go of that relationship? Can I let that person come to my life? Can I let them go? Can I let people that want to love me, can I let them come into my life? And can I let them go? Can I let go of wanting and needing control? You see, control is an expression of fear. And so if you sense yourself controlling, don't judge yourself, put yourself down, just know that it's fear, and stop and ask yourself, why am I feeling afraid? Why am I feeling afraid? And know that any place where you're feeling fear is a part of you that doesn't feel loved. So control shows up. Control is tricky, right? It's tricky. It's probably the slickest, most sneaky mode of operation that the ego has. It can look like advising others, instructing others. It can look like giving uninvited advice. It can look like being a cheerleader for others so that they will perk up and pull themselves up by the bootstraps. Or do something that we want, more of something that we are cheerleading them for. We want them to do more of it, right? So we cheer them on, and that's our way of controlling. Control can look like smothering. It can look like mothering folks that haven't invited us to mother them. It can look like buttering people up. It can look like shutting them out because we want to punish them. So this is our way of controlling and getting them to do more of what we want or less of what we don't want is by shutting them out in order to punish them. It can look like seducing them. It can look like repeating things over and over and over because they're not doing what we want them to do. So we're going to repeat it a few more times, hoping they get the point. Control can look like creating alliances, like come close. I'm going to make an alliance with you because I want something out of it. It can look like flattering. Many times we use flattery to control one another, to get something we want. It can look like shaming and blaming. And this vessel has been on the receiving end of this quite a bit lately, this shaming. And this is an old school way of operating that is very common to the generation before her. And parents particularly could make good use of this in order to get a child to do something or behave differently, you see, shame and blaming. And this is a dark and nasty energy, which does not motivate. It only coerces. Good. All right. So control is an illusion because ultimately life does what it does, and life is perfect. Yes, life is perfect, my dear, and you are perfect, and your path is perfect, and all things, as it says in Romans, are working together for your good. All things, even the things that you don't want or don't like. Many times, perhaps you've been very late to a meeting and you're frustrated and upset because you can't present yourself in that perfect light to the person that you want to impress. But perhaps being late to the meeting, in that being late, you missed an accident in which you would have lost your life. You see, you never know. There are so many moving parts in this universe and even on this earth, so many different energies and opportunities and parallel realities, and you're bouncing in and out of all of these things, and all of them are serving your higher good. And so life is what it is. And you are what you are in this moment because of all the choices that your soul has made, and your soul is in agreement with where you are right now in this moment. It is. And if it's not, if there is some disagreement that your soul has with who you are or who you are engaged with or the energies and environments around you, you likely already feel it. And that feeling of your soul is prompting you to move in a new direction. So could you let it, whatever it is that's troubling you, could you let it be what it is? Could you welcome it? Could you let go? And would you let go? And when will you let go? How about now, right? So as we awaken, and if you're here and you're part of this night, you are certainly a person who is awakening and on your path to enlightenment. Your feet are square in the middle of the path and you're moving towards it. Remember, the ego is tricky. And as you start dropping some of this conditioning of the culture, perfect job, perfect life, perfect whatever, the spiritual ego is slick. It will try to get you to transfer your perfectionistic tendencies onto your spiritual practice, right? Like, I should meditate more. I should be further along. I should be further up the scale of consciousness. I should be more whatever. I should be catching all my negative thoughts. I should have more control over my emotions at this point. Well, I can tell you, if you saw me and my emotions sometimes, you would feel a whole lot better about your process, right? So we have to watch for that, because that perfectionism, that idealism, and we can be idealistic about all kinds of good things like the environment and what we want for the political system and what we want for peace on earth and all of that. And it's fine to have high ideals, but as long as we're not using them like, yes, like chains or a choker collar around our neck. Oh, goodness. I saw that like a dog collar around our neck. It's gross. There's a verse in 1 John that I love, 1 John 4:8. It says, there is no fear in love, but perfected love drives out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. And the one who fears has not been made perfect. So now we're going to shift. We're going to start talking about this true perfection of the soul, which is your birthright, which is who you really are. And there's nothing you have to do to attain it. All you have to do is remember it. So let's dig into this, what John was saying. There is no fear in love. That word love there means agape or divine love. There's no fear in it. So if you're in a relationship and you're feeling fear or insecurity because they're not paying enough attention to you or not responding to you, or they don't bring you flowers anymore, or whatever it is you're freaking out about, right? That fear is an indicator to you of a lack of love in yourself, a love for yourself, and giving love and freedom to the other. Because you see, real love is not just the coming close, it's also the giving of freedom to the other, right? But perfect love drives out fear. And that word perfect in the Greek means whole. So it doesn't mean what all the things we've just been talking about that the culture tells us. It means being whole. So a whole love, a complete love, a divine love drives out fear. And that those words there, drives out fear, actually means to throw out in the trash. So see, there is a wholeness in divine love. When you step into divine love, when you experience it, when you know yourself as that. This is what I am. I am love. I am divine love. I am whole, blameless, perfect, innocent. I am divine love. That has a way of just tossing fear out of your vibrational field, out of your auric field, out of your thoughts, out of your experience, like throwing it in the trash. That's what love does. When love moves in, fear moves out. When love comes in, fear is driven out. There's no place for it anymore. And the last part of this verse says, the one who fears is not been made perfect in love. So when we're afraid, then we have to realize that we've bought into the lie, because the truth is we are perfect in love. We are perfect in love. So I want to let Judah channel about this perfect love and bless us with some of this love. You may feel, even tonight, you may feel completely alone, like there's no one on the planet who loves you, who knows you, who is intimate with you, no one to give you attention, to look in your eyes, to listen to you, to hold you. And that may be the truth of your reality. And this is what we want to say to you. The truth is you are love itself. You are the embodiment of love. There is so much. There is an inexhaustible source of love in you. Inexhaustible source of love in you. And once you feel the endowment of this love, once you feel it spreading like warm fire all through your physical being, filling up every cell, filling up your auric field, filling up all around you like white light energy. It is you, dear. You are loved. You are the very love of God. You are the divine expression of love in the earth. And you see, you need no one to experience this. And were someone to come near you right now in this moment as we speak, they would be overcome with the love that is radiating from you. It is you, dear. You are loved. You are perfectly loved, and you lack nothing. And when you trust this, When you have faith in this, when you own it and embrace it, you will find ones being drawn to you, and you will find the courage to step across your threshold and get out into the world and find someone to love. You see, there's nothing wrong with you at all. You're perfectly imperfect. You're exactly where you need to be. Anything that you don't like about your life, you can shed it, you can shed it, you can shed it like a snake sheds an old, dead, dry skin, because it is not who you are. Who you are is love. And we want to say to you, if you feel lonely, that loneliness is a lie, because you are full of all that is, and you are unified with this vessel, with us, and with everyone who is present here tonight. And may the love of angels surround you all around. Know that we are with you all the time, ever present. When you don't feel us, it is because you have been caught in lower realms of thinking and experience, in the lower realms of consciousness. But we are still here, even when you don't have the experience of us. There are times when this vessel is clearing old historical pain and energies from this life and others, and she cannot feel our love. She cannot sense love. She cannot experience herself as love, and she cannot feel it even from those who have it to give, because this is the way of the lower realms of consciousness. But she's been through this enough times to know that when she crosses through to the other side, there we will be. There we will be. And she will once again feel our love. And so we are going to fire your hearts right now. Put your hand over your heart and feel our fire spread all across your chest, all across your heart chakra. And yes, 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 open the heart to love. Let go of perfectionism. Drop it, drop it, drop it like a fiery hot coal. Let go of it. Let it go, let it go, let it go. And know that you're loved just as you are. And now then do what you want. Do what you want. Don't do what you think will make you better than what you are, or different, or no more, or whatever. Don't do those things. Instead, do what you want to do. Do what makes you smile. Do what makes you happy. Give and receive love, and let go of your false standards. As you let go of false standards, a holy standard will come in upon your life, and you will find yourself accomplishing more in the realm of spirit, in the third, fourth, fifth dimensional and higher than you ever dreamed or imagined. You will find yourself being perfect from the standpoint of heaven. And this perfection, this heavenly perfection manifested in your imperfect human experience, will be transformational for those who are in your presence. Yes? Good.